Mass shooting in Thousand Oaks eclipsed by huge wildfires, families and friends of victims say. Scrolling through his Twitter feed last week, David Clayton Reddy spotted a fundraiser for people who lost homes or belongings in the fires ravaging California. He felt a jolt. Less than a week earlier, his friend was gunned down in a mass shooting in his hometown of Thousand Oaks. But outside the city, and sometimes even inside, the massacre seems to have faded from focus. Clayton Reddy, 39, tapped out a reply, "Please don't forget about the families of the borderline shooting. These fires are tragic, but things can be replaced. The people that lost their lives cannot." It's been just 10 days since the shooting, the third deadliest in California history. A sign on the 101 freeway reminds drivers approaching the suburb from Los Angeles, 1,000 Oaks strong. Borderline 12. But the fires that broke out less than 24 hours later seem to have eclipsed the tragedy, all but making it vanish from the national spotlight. The shooting did not spawn a gun control debate. Most journalists have already left town, headed to the devastating wildfire in Northern California. Still grappling with what feels like the worst thing that could happen to their community, many in Thousand Oaks are left wondering, how has the country moved on already? For them, the fire's arrival so soon after the shooting probably has made it even more difficult to stop thinking about the first tragedy, experts say. When two traumatic events are that close together, said mental health expert and USC professor Lawrence Palinkas, it's possible that the effect is not simply additive, but could potentially be exponential. In his tweet, Clayton Reddy included a picture of his friend, Sean Adler, grinning with his two blonde-haired, giggling sons. Adler, a bouncer at Borderline Bar and Grill, the site of the shooting, was just the sweetest man ever, he said. When I heard he was one of the victims, Clayton Reddy's voice began to trail off. Still processing the new reality. It's unbelievable. The November 7th shooting rattled Thousand Oaks, a sleepy town of 120,000 people that has a reputation as one of the safest cities in America. Many people who grow up here return years later to raise their kids. The morning after the shooting, Google searches for Thousand Oaks shooting skyrocketed nationwide, as people woke up and heard the terrible news, according to Google Trends. Scenes of Thousand Oaks, with its wide streets and mountainous backdrop, played on TVs across the country. But the next afternoon, people began seeking information about Thousand Oaks fire. As residents fled their homes in the dead of night from the fast-moving blaze, those Google searches became more popular and stayed that way. The flip happened just 27 hours after the shooting. Kim Paolini's daughter Kayla was supposed to go to Borderline the night of the shooting, but she changed her mind at the last minute. Her friend who was there, 21-year-old Noelle Sparks, was killed. Here's this mass shooting, and when it would have been talked about 2, 3, 4 days, it fell off the face of the planet, said Paolini, 47. The story never got out about those people and what happened. President Trump traveled to California on Saturday to visit those affected by the fires. But before returning home on Air Force One, he met with families who lost children in the shooting. "That was a horrible thing," said Trump, according to a White House poll reporter. "It's one of the safest places in America, and it happened there." The shooting has not become a political football in a fierce gun control debate, as others have. In a statement released after the shooting, Janet Eckhouse, head of the Ventura County chapter of the Brady Campaign to End Gun Violence, said, "Don't wait for this to happen to you and your community. Demand action from your elected officials." Eckhouse could not be reached for an interview, in part because her home was evacuated due to